सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मने नमः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ। Should we start? Okay. So last time we were continuing with Anandamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha we saw all the shlokas, okay, and we were trying to understand it better. Ananda pratibimba chumbitatanu वृत्तिस्तमोजृम्भिता स्यानन्दमयः प्रियादिगुणकः स्वेष्ठार्थलाभोदयः पुण्यस्यानुभवे विभाति कृतीनाम् आनन्दरूपस्वयं भूत्वानन्दति यत्र साधु तनुभृत्मात्रः प्रयत्नं विना आनन्दमयः कोशस्य सुषुप्तौ स्फुरतिरुत्कटा स्वप्नजागरयोरिषद् इष्टसन्दर्शनादिना नैवायम् आनन्दमयः परात्मा सोपाधिकत्वात् प्रकृतेर्विकारात् कार्यत्वहेतोः सुकृत्क्रियायाः विकार संघात समाहितत्वात्. Okay, and this is where we stopped. Okay, now we had our charcha was going on where is Annamaya Kosha Sthula Sharira, Pranamaya Manomaya Vijnanamaya Kosha Sukshma Sharira, Anandamaya Kosha Karana Sharira. Right? So can we just take it that way completely?
What do you mean, Guruji? What are you asking? Like
if we are taking, okay, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha iti Sukshma Shariraha, we just take it straight away that way, which means Sthula Shariraha Annamaya Kosha. What happens to Annamaya Kosha at deep sleep? Is it there or is it not there?
It is there.
It is there. And Sthula Sharira is there or not there?
It is there.
Okay. Same question. What happens to Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya Kosha in deep sleep? Is it there or is it not there?
We don't realize it, but it's all there. Nothing is going away anywhere. Right, Guruji? Or do we not? Because we don't feel any of those things, it's not there.
See, then why do we say in Sushupti, we don't know anything? Being there is also equivalent to not being there. Even if it is there, it has no meaning to it.
Yeah. Don't feel any of it. We don't realize it. It's not something you will know it's there.
So always when we are referring to these koshas, are you referring to something which you know and which you can do something, or which you are at least able to understand it, or which you are saying that is generally there as a part of the world?
Understood.
So when we are referring to from a Vyashti perspective, only when you have some access to it, you will want to accept that it is there. Just theory. That is why when you say Sthula Shariraha, practically Annamaya Kosha is there, but Sthula Sharira in deep sleep is of no use. Sukshma Shariraha very clearly is active. At least if not anything in Sushupti, Pranamaya Kosha is active. Correct? So at least you can say that everything of Sukshma Sharira is not gone in deep sleep. Except Pranamaya, except Prana, the other things and all are no access. What happens in your Anandamaya Kosha versus Karana Sharira? See, why are we referring to it like this? In Tattva Bodha, both will be equated. In Tattva Bodha, what is it? Last time I told, just refer to Tattva Bodha. After that, he puts one line, Sthula Sharira. Then he says, Iti Anandamaya Kosha. He mentions that very clearly. Karana Sharira, in Anandamaya Kosha, he mentions that. So, for a Tattva Bodha perspective, it is right, but understand that some access, at least if not directly as indirectly, that is the karana for what we understand in Sthula Sukshma. Because Karana Shariram Kim Sthula Sukshma Sharirasya Karanam Eva Karanamaya Shariram. So you understand that Karana Shariram only from Karyam, not as Karanam. Karyameva Anumanaha Karana. Only from that Anumana you are able to say it is Karana Shariram is there. Which means that part which is accessible only, you are calling it as Anandamaya Kosha, but the complete area which you don't have an access also is included in the Karana Sharira. So if you have to logically look at it, Anandamaya Kosha is only a portion of the Karana Shariram where you have at least some idea from a inferential perspective that it is there. For example, if I say, where is your Sanchita Karma sitting? Answer is Karanamaya, Karana Sharira. But do you have access to it? It's a theoretical one just to say that Karma Kshaya happens there. I have no access, I have nothing to do, I can't do anything about it. Are you getting it? Like that. So when you say subconscious mind and unconscious mind, that subconscious part is where you have a little access at least, but the unconscious mind you have no access. Could you hear me? I think connectivity dropped. I'm saying when you are referring to a subconscious mind and an unconscious mind, why do you call it subconscious mind? It's a part of that unconscious mind where some activity is very, 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 sparsely understood. That is why you call it subconscious mind. Like that, Anandamaya Kosha is something where, because Priyadi Vritti Sahitam is there. So indirectly there is access there. Very, 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 but you cannot decide and go there and do something about it like you can do it in your Sukshma Sharira. Correct? Limited, very, very, very limited inferential knowledge can come out, and that portion where that inferential knowledge can come out is only the Anandamaya Kosha. But the total is called Karana Sharira. Is it clear? Okay. So it is, the other way around. If you say, many a times we refer to people with giving, a reference of, okay, this person, he is so and so working in Glaxo. So you call him Glaxo, this person. Does it mean Glaxo belongs to him? Answer is no. So this building, a person from this building, so you refer to that as a prefix or suffix, a building name, and then refer to the person's name. Like that, even if you want to talk about some access or some inferential knowledge, it is only Anandamaya Kosha. But beyond the Anandamaya Kosha, that Karana Shariram, absolutely it is Prajnana Ghana Rupini. Nothing you will know. Okay. So maybe one of the, a nice example which someone gave was, you go to a very dark room, a big dark room where many things are kept. It's pitch dark. So now, when I open this door, there is some amount of idea I know, at least for a few feet or few meters, this is what it is. एक भनक मिल जाता है. So you imagine that in that dark room you go and now you start a torchlight, and that torchlight is falling somewhere. That part where the torchlight is falling is very clear. That is our Sukshma Sharira. But you also have some portion where it is not clear, but it is very much part of the room, and wherever you move the torch, only that becomes visible. So when I moved the torch, whatever was visible is now invisible. Only that area which is visible. So like that, if you look at it, it is like the umbra and the penumbra region in an eclipse, where something is there, I know, but I am not clear. But otherwise, I know this room is very big and has got so many items that I have no knowledge of what is there in this room. Unless I take the torch and million times move around and I know each and every place, but there is no light there. I have to take a torch and go. So at any point of time, I cannot on the light and see everything at a time. Whereas when you come to a room and if the light is there, in one glance you know everything. Whether you remember, perceive it, it's a difference, but you have just seen the picture of the whole thing. Are you able to get that? So this is how that subtlety part of that in Anandamaya Kosha and Karana Shariram is there. Okay. But for all practical purpose, we call Anandamaya Kosha and Karana Shariram as one. Because what is the point of talking of inaccessible area? Our reference should be where there is some access or at least inference of some access. Okay. And hence, Sthula Sharira and Annamaya Kosha is completely the same. But when it comes to Karana Sharira and Anandamaya Kosha, this subtlety will come. Where vritti is there, where verb is there, where action is there, where experiences can be there, because it is itched there as vasanas. Is it clear? Any doubt on this? Any doubt on koshas? All the koshas, because now koshas are ended now. Okay. Any doubt on it, please ask. Then we go ahead then. Okay. Naiva, that we have seen. Okay, the next one. Panchanam api koshanam nishede yuktitaha shrute. Tan nishedhavadihi sakshi bodharupo avashishyate. Now he has come to that final climax of the whole thing. Panchanam api koshanam nishede. How? युक्तितः श्रुते तन्निषेध अवधिः साक्षी बोधरूपो वशिष्यते. Meaning is clear or not? Is the meaning clear? Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe, having negated all the five koshas. How? Yuktitaha shrute, by the right methodology as given by in the shruti, not how you feel. Tan nishedhavadihi, after doing that full nisheda, avadihi, whatever is the balance. Avadihi means whatever is the balance, then there is a remnant after that. What is that remnant? Sakshi. And how do you understand this Sakshi? Bodha Rupaha avashishyate. That remnant is to be only understood as knowledge but not as experience, because it is the subject matter and not the object. Is it clear?
So this is beyond even Karaneshwari, right? Which we don't know most of it. We only know the Ananda Kosha part of it. Now we are saying whatever beyond this is the Bodha Rupa Sakshi, right, Guruji? So which is even that's what it's right. Even beyond that, that we have to understand.
When you are saying beyond, beyond is from distance, beyond is from subtlety. What is the framework in which you are using this reference called beyond?
Subtlety, Guruji. Beyond.
So, if you do not understand the subtlest, because you can't experience it. So, the methodology of knowing this, how did you understand Anandamaya Kosha and Karana Sharira? Is it by an experience or is it by Bodha Rupaha? Here itself you are using knowledge. Some amount of inferential knowledge, not direct data, is not available to you. So whatever is subtler than that, you will not have any data even for that. You will not have any perception on that. Then how do you understand? It is only by knowledge. Now, to come to that, Acharya is very, very specific in this particular shloka. He says, Panchanam api koshanam shrute yuktitaha nishedhe. See that first. What is he trying to tell that? Why did he tell this way? Panchanam api koshanam nishedhe. This part is clear. Why did he add this shrute yuktitaha nishedhe?
Because because Shruti is what is teaching us that because these are their characteristic and why it should be negated. So Shruti is teaching us that.
Not why it should be negated is fine. How it should be negated.
It should be negated.
If you try to negate it your own way or some other way, you will be in a mess. Why? Why? Because what does he want to bring that? He didn't say how. He says, go and refer the Shruti, you should know it. That's not my job. You are supposed to learn it that way and do it. Why it is Shruti Yukte Nishede? And how will you do it Shruti Yukte Nishede? Otherwise this is theoretical. Huh?
So Shruti tells us the Tattva Bodha we learned that the four qualities, to do it the right way. Only then you can um that's the only way to negate all this, negate the koshas, because that's how it goes one by one, step by step. Why it is um how it changes, how you have the banda yukta, so banda tattvam, right? All these have. So why, if you don't use that methodology that Shruti lays down, um, we will still be stuck in that banda tattvam. We'll always be stuck in the samsara.
So what is that Shruti laid down method?
First, doing the karma, right? Doing the karma to build the divine. That Tattva taught Guruji the 4Ds, the understanding. Let me.
Is that Shruti Yukti? Is that Shruti Yukti?
Yes, it is, because it is based on the Shruti that Tattva was written.
Okay. Then you would have said Shastra Yukti. Shastra Yukti, fine, clear. Shruti, Smriti together, yes. Why Shruti Yukti he has given?
Isn't that the root, Guruji? Isn't that the source of the Smriti also is the Shruti only, right?
Then do
so that we understand.
You started with Tattva, so for that is Shruti for you. Correct? You go to a yoga person, he will not know Tattva. He will say Patanjali Yoga Sutra is the Shruti based. Is there a difference? Is there a difference between your Shruti and his Shruti? No? No?
The main source is the Shruti, right, Guruji? No?
Then why do you have 6 darshanas? Everything was based on Shruti only, right?
Right.
Then why 6 darshanas came? If that knowledge was very clear and single knowledge for everyone, why did 6 darshanas come out?
It is based for whoever can follow whichever.
Are the bases the same? Okay. Tell me specific questions. Your first one is what is that? Yoga. Before that, the Shad Darshanas.
Yeah, the
Forgetting the name.
It's Darshanas. Have that in us.
What is the first one?
Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa.
But that is okay. But before that, what is the first one? Yoga. Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya. Sankhya is Dvaita philosophy, Vishishta Dvaita philosophy, or Advaita philosophy?
Vishishta Advaita.
Vishishta Advaita. So,
no, sorry, Dvaita, not Vishishta Advaita.
Vedanta is
Advaita.
First difference. Sankhya is Ishwaravadi or Nirishwaravadi?
Nirishwaravadi.
And Vedanta is?
Ishwaravadi.
So how can that one Shruti give both?
So is it for people who can identify with which? No? Isn't that way?
Here there is no other way. if we have to do Nisheda, you have to go the Shruti route only whether it is not whether I understand it properly or like it properly, it is logical to me. All these things are your own personal. That is why whatever the Shruti has given, go by the Shruti and not by Smritis where people have tried to decipher, including Vedanta. Including Vedanta, the moment he says Shruti, he has also ensured that Advaita Vedanta is kept out. If that part mentioned by Advaita Vedanta is Shruti Sammata, go ahead and do it. But don't go only by that, because if somewhere it is not complying with Shruti, now why he is mentioning Shruti? Please understand, so far as you are going up to Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, it's a very logical way of going ahead, because you have that subject-object differentiation. Now when you come to the Anandamaya and the Karana Shariram, it is the object which is not visible. Okay, so you have, if you call this in Bhagavad Gita's language, Purushottama Yoga, you have the Kshara Purushaha, which is right from Annamaya up to Vijnanamaya. Then you have Akshara Purushaha, which is sitting in the Anandamaya. Then you have Uttama Purusha, which is Sakshi. So the Shruti gives a particular way to do it. Shruti does not just tell you suddenly go like, many people will say, yoga, start doing dhyana. No. There is a methodology which Shruti has given. And where is this methodology given? So he tells Shruti Sammati because there is a methodology given in Shruti. And it is a practical, utilizable method, applicable method, not theoretical. You understand it theoretically, but the same thing what we understood as theoretically, there is a very clear method given in the Shruti, which is in the Taittiriya Upanishad also. In many are there, in Taittiriya Upanishad also it is given. Tasya prana eva shiraha vyano dakshinah pakshaha apana uttarah pakshaha akasha atma brahma puchham pratishtha tadapyesha shloko bhavati प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ति मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ति ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते ये प्राणं ब्रह्म उपासते. You consider this pranamaya kosha as Brahman and do upasana. Only when you do that, you will come to know the limitations of this pranamaya kosha, and you will then logically negate yourself that it is not Brahman. Prano hi bhutanam ayuhu tasmat sarvayushamuchyata iti. So he says, tasyaisha eva sharira atma. So now you consider, if you have negated it, consider the next sharira to be the atma. Yah purvasya tasmadva etasmad pranamayat. He says, now you have negated it. Anyontara atma manomaya. The next kosha, consider it to be Brahman. Consider it to be Atma. So you have to do adhyaropita apavada. Adhyaropita apavada. You have to make a hypothesis and you have to negate it. The Shruti, because otherwise you will put the whole thing on the Shruti. The Shruti told that it is. Which is a Sakshi, it is given in the Shruti. That means, मेरा उसके साथ संबंध नहीं है. वो Shruti बोला है. No. That is why Shruti yuktena nishede. Only when you nisheda, then what happens? There is no remnants left. Otherwise, you will end up objectifying the subject. The biggest problem in this is you will end up objectifying the subject. What is objectifying the subject? Considering that Atma is also another object. Because that is natural for us. It is natural for us. We can intellectually separate Atma and say, oh, I am here, my Atma is here. It's very easy. But the moment to say that I am that Atma, it is very difficult. And that is why that Shruti Yuktena Nishede is very important here. He says only by that way, otherwise you will get into a problem. Whatever you consider it to be, that Atma or Sakshi may no more be Atma and Sakshi, it may be another object which you would have made, or you have objectified that subject, which is still tougher. Because with that view you start looking at things, everything starts becoming very difficult then. Then that Asipadam will never come. See, whenever you are looking at Ishvara and you are looking at the Brahman in that, it is very easy. Okay, I remove the guna of Ishvara, this is Brahman. Because it has got no connection in me. I am the subject, they both are object now. It's very easy, understand? Because that logical way of going through each kosha is objectifying each kosha and negating it, saying that I am the subject, I am not that object. That is why in every, this is bringing Natu Paratma. He brings that Natu Paratma, that I am not the subject. So he has used that, okay, it is not this, consider the other one to be Paratma. Then he negates it, Natu Paratma. He has actually in his, if you look at those shlokas which he has given, he has actually done Shruti Sammati Nishede. That is how he has used that method itself there, and he is re-emphasizing that only by doing that you can do Panchakoshena Nishedena. Are you able to get that? Is this clear? Okay. Any other way we go, it will not work, because we will objectify ourselves, which is the subject. Me and my Atma, it is very easy to say that. Very easy to imagine. Very easy to be in that. Okay. Now if you say I the subject, then you can't now talk about it as an objectified thing. Because all your abilities to talk about it has gone off. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Now, if there is no possibility to objectify it, and I have no ways to communicate about the subject, now you see such a big problem is there for the Shruti to communicate a non-communicatable topic. Are you able to get this? And this is what Shruti is doing. Without objectifying it, it is maintaining its subjectivity and still communicating. So every time, whenever I am shown as a reflection, and in the reflection the image is there, I can easily have the knowledge that without me, my reflection cannot be there. So I use the reflection to play around to talk about me, because I don't have an access to that me inside to communicate. I know that me is there. Every person knows that I exist. But how can you communicate that? You can't. The moment you communicate, you have objectified it. Are you able to get this? And this is a big issue. And hence he says, Shruti Yuktena. Shrute Yuktena Nishede. Is it clear? Then he says, after you do that completely, there is something Nisheda Avadhi. After you do Nisheda, there is a Nisheda Avadhi. What is that? What is Sakshi? Tell me in terms of what I understand. The moment you say Sakshi, it's a third person, no? Unmute and say, what is that? Then Nishede
Atma.
Atma means third person. Someone else sitting. See how even after this it becomes so difficult to actually talk about it, right? Why? No, not knowledge. After all this explanation, when everything is understood, also now it becomes difficult to talk. Because that's how our mind is. That's how our buddhi is. We will objectify everything. So how do you now express it in words? Tan nisheda avadhi sakshi. How will you express it in words without objectifying?
That which is there, like
That objectified.
again, objectified.
Every word you use, immediately I will say you have objectified it.
Any description is going to objectify, Guruji. How do I even describe it then?
How did the Shruti do it then? Now you understand how did that Shruti do it? Only when you try it, you understand what the problem is. Otherwise, sitting outside, it's very easy that you have to just do it this way. That's very theoretical. But even at words, thoughts छोड़ो words level में नहीं आता है, thought level में कहाँ से आएगा? How do you do it? So the answer will be, if you have to tell it, you will have to put subject-object relationship and negate the object. Which means like I, the negator of the Annamaya Kosha to Anandamaya Kosha, having negated the Kosha, what remains is I, the negator, who can never be negated at all times. Now you see, what did I do? You bring a subject-object relationship and maintain your position as the subject. Any other word you use, it will not work. Because I have to be present as the negator of each kosha. Who negated every kosha? I am the negator who negated the koshas. And having negated everything, what remains? The negator remains who cannot be negated. For negating the negator, you need another negator, which is impossible. Because you have negated everything else. Then what remains? I, the non-negatable negator, is that Sakshi. So now you are owning it up. If you say Atma, if you say Brahman, third party, so dusra koi hai, not me. Are you able to get this? And Shruti brings it that way. Shruti has a unique ability to bring it, because when it goes to Paramarthika, you look at it as knowledge, but to explain that Paramarthika, they bring RC as Vyavaharika and tell that now you negate that image which is there. You break that mirror which is there. That mirror is, you have to break it. But if you have broken the mirror, have you vanished? Answer is no. And you are that which you cannot see yourself, but you know it is you yourself. You can never objectify. So for that, examples like, can you negate a camera in any photograph? It is an integral part of the photograph, but never will be visible in the photograph. But without that as the subject, no photograph is possible. You take an object and make it a subject there. And once you learn to do that, then you superimpose on yourself and say that I, that Atma, who is negating everything, can never be negated. And if everything else is gone also, I, the Atma, remain. Aham asmi, I am there. No asti here. Asmi, first person singular. Then you are owning it. But how? As an object? No. Bodha rupena. Only as knowledge. Now you see, every word is so beautifully put there. Bodharupena avashishyate. That remnant, which is the subject, which has negated every object, understand it by your knowledge, is called the Sakshi. Are we able to get this? Is it clear? Hopefully for others also it is clear, because unless you go to that subtlety, you will not be able to break it and get into that. It is like the water telling every wave and bubble and everything that your form I have removed, your form I have removed. Then what is remaining? That water remains. That's all. If gold goes and tell every ornament I have removed, all your nama rupa I have removed, what remains? The gold asi. The gold is there. Is it clear? Hopefully it is clear to others. I'm not getting any feedback. Yeah. Okay. So it is a very, if taken it as a very superficial, it is very easy. You can just tell the meaning and keep moving ahead. But what Acharya has told is, because unless you don't do that, every time you will objectify the subject. And this is the biggest problem which we have, because in our world, we always know everything as an object using our 5 antennas. Our 5 antennas are known to objectify everything, including us. That is why these 5 antennas cannot reach the subject, which is subtler than the subtlest Anandamaya Kosha. Only with all this you can understand Anandamaya Kosha at least little. But the Atma, you have to just accept that yes, it is there, because if that is not there, where is that Chit? With Chit is not there, how are you talking about understanding, knowledge or nothing? Life itself is not there. And only Sat is there, existence. So that Chit and Chidabhasa, that differentiation is bringing it out here. To know the Chit, you have to use the Chidabhasa and negate the Chidabhasa, then Bodha Rupena Chideva Vartate. Okay? Right. So, Panchanam api koshanam nishede yuktitaha shrute tan nishedavadihi sakshi bodha rupa avashishyate. Now, here why did he use this word sakshi? Why not Atma? If you all have understood till now whatever I have said, you will give the right answer. So it is my challenge now, not your challenge. My RC is going to come now. Reflected. My reflection is going to come out. Let us see. And I am ready to face it. Why did he use this word Sakshi and not Atma? And the answer is in the shloka. Don't search here and there.
Because each of those kosha, like you said, somebody is observing it, right? And you just explained it, how it is observing and negating and saying, no, this is not it, this is not it, this is not it. So that is why he's calling it a sakshi, because otherwise, that's the word that explains all the negation.
Some karyatvam is happening there. Kriyatmakata is happening. Indirectly, you are saying that the Atma is negating means what? Atma is doing some activity. That Atma which cannot do any activity, we try to understand it as though it is doing an activity. As though. And hence that whenever you give adhyaropa, a dress of kriya with the Atma to show that it is the subject, you call it Sakshi. Is it clear? Chalo, मैं pass हो गया. Okay, good. Now from here he will go to Atma Swarupa. योयमात्मा स्वयं ज्योतिः पंचकोश विलक्षणः अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सन् निर्विकारः निरञ्जनः सदानन्दः स विज्ञेयः स्वात्मत्वेन विपश्चिता. Okay, they are very very known words, very simple words, but very deep rooted words because they have very specific meaning. Yah ayam atma, yoyam atma, yah ayam, he, that atma whom I have referred earlier, not any other. Yah ayam atma, he, that atma which I am referring now, is talking it as a third person. That atma is a Swayam Jyoti. Panchakosha vilakshana, beyond the Panchakoshas. Avasthatraya sakshi san, it is sakshi for all the three avasthas. Nirvikaraha, no vikara can is possible. Niranjanaha, no blemish at all. Sada anandaha, always ananda rupena vartate. Sa vijñeyaha, everything is now knowledge. You may please understand it as this way. Swa atmatvena, and it is no other. See the beauty. In the first line he says, Yaha ayam atma. What did he do? That atma which I was referring, no. And in the last line he says what? Swa atmatvena vipaschita. That atma which I was referring is nothing but you, the atma. Look at it that way, that it is you, that atma. That means now I am. So instead of saying atma is Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi San Nirvikaraha Niranjanaha Sadanandaha, you will have to now replace it and say that Ayam Atma Swatma Swayam Jyotihi Panchakosha Vilakshanaha Avasthatraya Sakshi San Nirvikaraha Niranjanaha Sadanandaha Satchidanandaha. Then there is no question of Vijñeya. You have already accepted it. The moment you are saying that that is me is a theoretical, the moment you say I am all this, then there is no Vijñeya. I am a Jnani. One who has not understood, for him Vijñeya. One who has understood it, there is a question of to understand. He is living with it. Is it clear? Which we will see more in the next class. Okay. Any doubts? Because we are now moving to the next topic. And yeah, next class we will have. Or probably I will not start this now in the next class. Because after that again we will have to stop. 3rd, 4th, Trivandrum. Then 9th, 10th. It will be at, I will be at, for the Vagbil Ayyappa Puja and Maharudram will be there. So 2 weeks will go. So I think we, year end, you all have already earned one of the holidays. So enjoy the holiday. We will see only after 15 then. And we will start with Atma Swarupa. And probably at that time I will ask the other batch also to join here. Okay. And we will see how it goes. Yeah? Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yeah, Dhanyavada.
Advance Happy New Year wishes, Guruji.
Thank you to all. Same to you all. Dhanyavada. Shubhecha.
Dhanyavad, Guruji.